Your calm energy makes some people uncomfortable. Not because you are doing anything wrong, not because you are arrogant, distant, or superior, but because calmness exposes insecurity. When you remain steady, composed, and emotionally regulated, it quietly confronts the chaos inside others who have not learned to control themselves. Calm people rarely raise their voice. They don't rush to defend themselves. They don't react impulsively. And that alone can feel threatening to someone who survives on reaction and attention. When you stay grounded in the middle of tension, you disrupt the emotional pattern insecure minds depend on. Insecure people rely on noise. They rely on emotional spikes. They rely on control through reaction. If they provoke you and you respond emotionally, they feel powerful. But when you don't react, when you stay centered, they lose leverage, and that loss of control makes them uncomfortable. Calmness signals confidence. It communicates without words that you are not easily shaken. You don't need to dominate the conversation. You don't need to interrupt. You don't need to prove. That quiet stability forces insecure people to look inward, and many would rather project than reflect. Projection is a psychological defense mechanism. When someone feels inadequate, threatened, or unstable, instead of addressing those feelings internally, they project them outward. They accuse others of being cold, arrogant, or dismissive, when in reality, they are reacting to their own insecurity. If you've ever been told you think you're better than everyone, simply because you were calm and quiet, you've experienced projection. Your silence wasn't superiority, it was self-control. But to someone who equates loudness with strength, composure feels like competition. Power dynamics shift in the presence of calmness. The loudest person in the room often assumes they hold authority, but when someone enters who doesn't compete for dominance and still commands respect, the hierarchy changes. Calm people don't fight for power, they embody it. Emotional regulation is rare. Most people operate on impulse. They react quickly, speak quickly, judge quickly. A calm person pauses. They think. They choose their words carefully. This pause can feel intimidating because it suggests awareness and control. When you don't react, insecure individuals may escalate. They might try harder to provoke you. They might criticize, mock, or attempt to challenge your composure. Not because you've done anything wrong, but because your steadiness highlights their instability. Calmness acts like a mirror. It reflects what others lack, and mirrors can be uncomfortable. Insecure minds often mistake calm for weakness at first. They assume silence means submission. But over time, they realize calmness is not passivity. It is discipline, and discipline is powerful. There is strength in knowing you don't need to prove yourself. Calm people don't rush to defend their character. They understand that not every misunderstanding requires correction. That level of internal security feels foreign to someone who constantly seeks validation. Calm people also listen more than they speak. This can make others uneasy. When someone listens carefully, observes quietly, and responds thoughtfully, it feels like they see more than they say. And being seen deeply can feel exposing to someone hiding insecurity. Insecure individuals often depend on emotional reactions to feel significant. If they can upset you, they feel influential. But when you remain composed, their attempts fail. That failure can translate into resentment. Your calm energy doesn't chase attention. It doesn't compete. It doesn't perform. It simply exists, and existence without approval is a form of power. Power doesn't always look aggressive. Sometimes it looks like restraint. Sometimes it looks like silence. Sometimes it looks like walking away instead of arguing. Calm people rarely need the last word. They understand that winning an argument is less important than maintaining peace. That prioritization can confuse someone who equates dominance with victory. Insecure minds are often hyper-aware of status. They scan rooms for hierarchy. They measure themselves against others constantly. When someone doesn't participate in that competition, it destabilizes the system. You don't need to intimidate anyone to be intimidating. Stability intimidates chaos. Emotional maturity intimidates emotional immaturity. Silence intimidates noise. The key difference is internal validation. Calm people don't rely heavily on external approval. They trust their judgment. They know their values. They understand their boundaries. This self-trust removes desperation. Desperation is visible. Calmness removes it. When you are calm, your nervous system is regulated. Your breathing is steady. Your tone is measured. This physical composure communicates safety and authority at the same time. Others feel it, even if they can't explain it. And because calm people are not easily manipulated, they are harder to control. Insecure individuals often attempt subtle manipulation to regain balance, but calm individuals notice patterns. They respond thoughtfully. They disengage if necessary. Walking away calmly can be more powerful than confronting aggressively. It sends a message, "I don't need this." That independence can feel threatening to someone who depends on reaction. It's important to understand that intimidating insecure minds doesn't mean you're responsible for their discomfort. Your composure is not cruelty. Your boundaries are not arrogance. Your silence is not judgment. You are allowed to be steady. You are allowed to regulate your emotions. You are allowed to remain calm in situations that others find overwhelming. If your calm energy unsettles someone, it often reveals more about them than about you. The goal is not to intimidate. The goal is to remain grounded. And when you master emotional regulation, projection loses power over you. Calmness is not suppressing emotion. It's about understanding it. It's about choosing response over reaction. It's about knowing that real strength doesn't need volume. Your calm energy is not weakness. It is awareness in action. And awareness is always powerful.